Welcome back to another video, and today we will be doing some first impressions on new to me and new to the market makeup products. The first thing that we will be trying out today is this one. So this is the Glamlite and Chucky palette, and this is something that I got during my last Monolith haul, and while I'm not exactly a fan of this theme, this was a palette that I was able to sort of throw into my cart to go over the €100 threshold, which is in Monolith Shop the threshold for free shipping. However, that wasn't the only reason. I did sort of, when I watched a couple of reviews about the color story, I did think that because this has quite a lot of these sort of mauvish reddish tones mixed in with grey, so it's not only purely a grey tone palette, I thought that this could be actually something that I would like. But I think what we will do today is that I will do like one eye as a demonstration, and then I will do the other one off camera, so then there won't be like a, how should I say, there's not too long of a clip of me doing my eyeshadow, because there is also some finishing that I need to do afterwards with my concealer to get it even from the edges. But let's see, which color are we starting out first? I think we will start with the purple one, so this one, Let's Be Friends. And this palette, of course, is not, this is one of the palettes that is of course not new to the market. This is obviously an older one, but it is new in my collection. And we'll be doing this side, and let's see how this one goes. I do actually think there isn't, what I am noticing first is that there isn't actually a lot of kick up in this one, which actually is a good thing, because it makes the cleaning up the edges and the under eyes then much easier. I think that's actually a pretty good all over the lid shade. Requires a bit of building, but not too. I do think that this, at least with this shade, there is like this isn't like super pigmented on the go, but it builds quite nicely, but it also is not a patchy shade to work with. So yeah, I think that is looking quite alright. Next one, I think we will do something to, I think I will be using 2 mattes and 2 shimmers, so 1 shimmer to darken the outer corner along with the matte, and then a bit lighter on the inner corner. So I think from the mattes, let's try another purple tint one. So let's try this one, I Like to Be Hugged. So it's this eggplant purple over here, and let's see how that will go. I think that actually has quite a lot of kick from the first go, so I'd say compared to a lighter shade with this one, you should be prepared that you will get pigment, but I do actually think that it's actually blending in quite nicely, even though I haven't actually done, I'm just packing it on my outer corner. But it is actually like already, I'm now using that, so this is the brush that I use to spread the lighter shade, so let's do some. Yeah, so I think what I'm actually liking about this formula is that there is like pigment to it, but it is actually blending in quite well, which is always a good thing. And let's now go for a darker shade on the outer corner. So all the shimmer shades in this one, they are quite dark, so there isn't actually a lot of options I can use to my inner lid, but let's try from the darker shades the issue 666, which here is it. I think this was one of the shades that looked quite purple in the pan, but this actually might be a bit like red rusty leaning once you get into the eye. But let's actually see it, because hand swatches can sometimes be a bit different, and I'm just gonna take some to my finger and then we'll dab it. And these aren't like the most sparkliest of indie shades, but I do think that they still have an it still has quite of a nice finish, and that also like blends in quite well. Let's take so this is the brush I used for the darker matte shade, and we'll be just blending that in a little bit. Yeah, that's actually looking pretty nice. And then for the, like I said, there's not a lot of light shimmer shades, but let's try this one. So Chucky and Tiff Forever. So it's this sort of gunmetal gray looking shimmer here. It's more of a mid-tone shimmer, but this is how it's looking like. And this actually has, I think this was the shade that had, aside from the like silver that's in the palette, that had most sparkle, because a lot of the sort of shimmer shades, I think they were a bit more like, I'd say, metallic leaning rather than sparkly. Yeah, I think that's actually, I'm taking a bit more, but that is actually like building in and blending in actually quite nicely. I'm gonna just take a fluffy brush. This is a Beauty Bay one, and I'm taking a bit more of the 666 shade just to a little bit blend them in together, but they're really, this already like almost blended itself in completely. And actually there isn't like a super lot of cleanup that I will have to do with my concealer, so that's also something to benefit the shadows. I'm just going to use the brush that I used the lightest shade to sort of put everything in together. But yeah, I'd say I'm looking at in the look already in the mirror, so I'm not now gonna do the other eye of camera, but so far first impressions about the Glamlite and Chucky palette. So far, at least now the 2 matte shades and 2 shimmer shades that I did try, I'm actually like so far liking the quality, so we'll be interested to see. I think as a spoiler it should also be like something that's gonna be upcoming is that I am actually getting the Betty Boop palette. I did my first order on Boozy Shop, which is a Dutch makeup retailer, and they already had the Betty Boop collection in stock, so that will be coming to me next week. So I think in a couple of weeks time I will be able to do a second like first impression video of a Glamlite formula and see how it works. But of course with this one, this is now in my 2-week rotation, and you will be seeing this in a collective eyeshadow review later on. But so far I'm liking this formula quite a lot. Okay, so we have the eyeshadow now fixed with a little bit of a concealer, and now we can go to the mascara. And this is actually now the last time I had a first impression mascara. It was the L'Oreal Panorama one, and you have already also seen now my final review of it, because it was included in my last sort of collective March makeup review video. However, today we are actually truly testing mascara first time, because I did mention in the last video that with the Panorama mascara I had already had it open a couple of days. Most of the rest of the stuff in this video, these are actually like new to the market products, so I finally managed to get the last pieces of the Essence Spring Collection 2024, and the first thing we will be trying from that is the Call Me the Queen mascara from that collection. And before we will go to the like actual like testing out the products, I have to say like getting these products was like, it was like, I don't know, happy Hunger Games or what it was like, because like initially and I did hear and watch from a couple of like Middle European YouTuber videos that when these were released in Germany and sort of in Middle European countries, there were like similar issue that first there were like a couple of products in store, but those were like Essence even actually I think advertised them in stores as previews, but then some stuff started trickling in, but it wasn't all of the stuff that was like really like that was beforehand advertised as their like this year spring edit. And I think it like almost took me a whole month to get to the last product. So the last product that was missing that you will be seeing later, it was this one. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury dupe of a glowy highlighter that we will be testing out later in the video. But like in our country, like first they sort of as a preview, and this was like advertised as a preview, they had the brow gel. Well, we all know that I rarely do my brows, so obviously I didn't get it, and I was like, okay, they brought out the brow gel. Then we had the sort of very strange that then they actually had the Queen mascara coming out, and they had it like, the mascara had it like had its own stand. And then I was able to get one of the lipsticks that you will be seeing in this video. And then there was like weeks that we didn't see any new stuff, and I was thinking like, okay, but where are all the cheek products? Because we hadn't gotten the blushes or the highlighting products or the powders, for example, and there were also some eye products that were still like missing. And then it took like a couple of weeks, then I managed to finally find the blushes, they had come out. However, the funny thing is that then with the lip products we only got one of the sort of hollow glosses that they came out. So we have only had like one shade of those in our stores, and I actually haven't seen the matte bullet lipstick that you will be seeing later on this video. I haven't seen those like anywhere after I managed to like snag mine from the last few that were available. And then like last week or so I was finally able to like track down the highlighter, and we did actually also, then I noticed that they did also have the like the hollow highlighter, which is the powder highlighter. But yeah, this has been like a, I don't know how they had some supply issues or what, because the Catrice Spring Edit stuff, that when that one came, all the products came at once, and they have been actually quite good with Catrice like restocking those. I haven't seen a lot of empty shelves, but the Essence shelves and how they have stocked these products, it has been like a hot mess. But anyway, that was the rant of just how difficult it has been getting a hold of these products, and let's now get to the mascara. So I assume because the Lash Princess, the green one, the green tube is my favorite. So, because this is kind of advertised as the cream mascara, so I'm having quite high expectations for this one, and I'm also a bit nervous because, my god, does this still have the... Yeah, it has the tape, so I cracked the tape at the same time. I do know that this has a plastic bristle mascara, and this has quite... We all know that the Panorama mascara that I tried from used up from L'Oreal recently, I wasn't a fan of the spiky bristles, and this is also bringing some flashbacks about that one. But let's see. I will again do just the one eye and then the other one off camera, but I am a bit scared, but oh well. Okay, there's quite, so far not impressed, but this is why I don't like doing first impressions on mascaras, because they usually don't tell necessarily what actual performance will be like at once the formula gets some air. So just purely first impression, this seems to be more of an separating and lengthening mascara, which we all know it's not enough with my lashes, because my lashes actually do need also some. And the wand is quite bendy also, which I'm a bit worried about the durability of it, because a mascara should at least last in your use like more than a month. So if you use it like every day, but I'm so far not necessarily impressed. But with this one especially, I'm not gonna make too big of a conclusions, because it could be that the formula just needs some air to settle in. Okay, let's try. I think this is gonna be now my third or fourth coat, and also sorry about making weird faces. This is, I think, what most people do when they put on a mascara, that they make odd. They make odd faces. Okay, first impressions. You can now see the also comparison with no mascara. So far not impressed, but I am going to give this a bit more time, because with some mascara formulas, and with the, also I felt that with the L'Oreal Panorama one, it was like that during the first like day or two it wasn't as good as it got when the formula got some air to it. But the bristles are making me having to be a bit careful with using this one, because they are quite spiky. So again, if you have sensitive eyes, maybe be aware that this is very spiky looking. I'm gonna now do the other eye off camera again, but this is especially something that I'm interested to see how this will this get better during the like use it. Something that I am a bit worried about already, because I did like when I was taking some product out of the tube, the wand already sort of bit bent, so not also perhaps the most quality in terms of packaging, but with a drugstore mascara that is also like sometimes that just is the case that they have to like cut cost from somewhere. But yeah, we'll be interested to see what this will be like once I will be using it a bit more. So I put some powder under my eyes and to my T-zone, and I did put a bit of an contouring under my under my chin and onto my cheeks, because I don't have anything like there weren't like any new contouring products included in the, or bronzing products included in the Essence Spring Launch. With blushes we actually have two options here, however I will be only using one, but I will show the both of them. So I did buy one of the sort of matte blushes, so this is the Blush Crush blushes, and this is in the shade Cool Berry, and the packaging of this is extremely cheap. Like this feels, I have had the sort of pressed powder from Essence, which is a good drugstore pressed translucent powder if you're looking for one. However, that one is in a thicker plastic packaging like this one, and even with that one I have had the issue that when I had the powder for a long time the lid breaks, and this is even skinnier than the powder that is in a similar bit bigger packaging, so I'm quite afraid that in time this will break away. I won't be using this one today, but I can like swatch it. It actually it feels very nice and smooth in the pan, and I'm just gonna put like some on the back of my hand, so you will be seeing it. This will be very interested to try in a couple of weeks how I like this, but so far, at least based on watching it, this actually, like, while the packaging is cheap, the formula feels quite nice, and it looks quite punchy also, which is, if you know my blush preferences, I do like my blushes to have a bit of punchiness to them, but I'm interested to be trying out this in a couple of weeks time and then give my final review. However, the product we are trying are this one. So Essence came out with their own version of these blush wand type of things that are very popular. A lot of higher end brands have made their own version of this one, and a lot of drugstore brands also. My favorites, for example, are the Revolution Pro ones that you have seen on my channel before. This is Baby Got blush, a liquid blush, and this is in the shade Dusty Rose. What is a bit interesting, and we will see soon, is that based on the packaging, this looks to be a cool toned one, but actually you can see a bit of the product from this window here. From the product window, this actually looks to be more warmer toned, so we are now very interested to see what this will be like. And as with all my liquid products, I will be putting some from the back palm of my hand, and then I will be using a blush brush to apply it. And that is purely because I feel that when you apply it from your hand to your cheeks, there's a bit more control there. So that's how it's looking on the hand, and this is looking, yeah, the shade is looking much more orange toned than what the packaging, because the packaging, you would think that this is some sort of a mauvish pinky color, but actually now on the back palm of my hand it's looking quite orange, which means it's not as exactly fitting with our cool toned eyeshadow look today, but oh well, we are already doing this, and now because I have no idea how pigmented this is going to be. There is some type of scent to this, but it's not like a bad scent, and I think it will dissipate once we do. This is, I'd say, definitely pigment level is to my liking. There is punch to this one. And this is, yeah, the blush is not going to match my eyeshadow tone today. So, if you're planning to buy this, be aware that the packaging does not reflect the undertone of this one. So this is definitely a warm toned rosier, almost, I'd say, I won't say, maybe like almost a bit peachy. Let's take a bit. I do say with a blush brush, this is adding up quite. This is building up and spreading quite nicely. Let's now put to the underside of the cheek. So. And on this side I do actually have a bit on a texture on the upper part of the cheek, so it's also a good test to the liquid blushes that if it gets stuck to this area, then what the form, like, is it a good formula or is it something that smooths over despite there being some texture to it. And so far I would say that this is not getting to the stuck to the texture of my cheeks. There's a bit of hair there. Yeah, I'm trying to put my finger, what is the scent of this? It has this sort of, and it's not a bad scent and it's not like a chemically scent, but there is like a scent to it. Yeah, I think we are quite even, and we are actually in sunlight today, so the lighting conditions are what they are, because we all know I film in my kitchen, so there's a limited control I have over my lighting condition, but yeah, I think this is actually quite nice formula. Like, is this the most, like, the packaging is what it is, but it is not like different to any other of the packaging of these kind of liquid blush products, but I am liking this. I'd say that if you have a similar blush preference to mine, that you do like the blush to already have a bit of a punch from the first go, then this is a good option. Like, you don't have to build this super lot to get a lot of opaqueness to it. So if you're looking for a very sheer blush, then I think you will have to go a bit more careful. I think maybe with a sponge you could actually get this to be more for sheer coverage, but so far, yeah. So far liking it. We will see, of course, how I will be liking it after trying it out a couple of weeks. And then let's wipe my hand off, because the next one is going to be very interesting. So, this is the, what is this called? Magic Filter Glow Booster, and we all know this is duping the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter, and this was the most difficult product to find, but I managed. And mine is in the shade Light. So, a bit before we are going to try this out, what I use these products for, and why, for example, I haven't rebought the Flawless Filter, is that I purely use this as a subtle highlighter on my cheekbones, and maybe if I feel cute I will put some on top of my nose. So, because I do have a bit of an oily leaning skin, I can't use these kind of products like under my makeup, because otherwise it will be a bit of a messy. I will already say, based on the package size, Catrice, which is the sister point to Essence, they came out with their sort of Flawless Filter dupe already like a year ago in their sort of, I think it was in their spring edit last year. And the packaging is there's much more product. So if you're using this kind of product maybe under your makeup, or as like maybe even a base product on its, like just as a light sort of foundation or something, then I would maybe just steer you to buy the Catrice one, because while the price is a bit higher than the Essence one, there's a lot more product compared to this one. But I think for someone like me who is primarily using this as a liquid highlighter, so there isn't a big amount per time when I use this, the smaller packaging might actually be better, because then it won't expire as quickly. So we are going to do so that I will put some on my finger, dab it on my cheeks, and then I will be using a wet sponge to even it out, and we will see that could this be finally the liquid highlighter, because we all know that my main issue with liquid highlighters has been that there isn't enough base to them, so there's too much shimmer particles and it looks messy. And so far this is actually looking pretty good, but I'm not gonna celebrate just yet. Yeah. And of course with the sponge is gonna take some of the product away, but okay, that's actually looking pretty promising. Let's try a bit. This has enough, I think, base to it, so it doesn't look like I have separate. I think we have a winner, like finally, like it blends out like very seamlessly, but there is like a subtle glow, like, my god, I think we like we truly have a, let's see, because with this one there is a bit more texture on my skin, but no issue, there it is. is like going on. Oh wow, yeah. This is awesome. I'm not kidding you. It's a bit even out the edges with the blush brush. I think we have a winner. Like finally a good drugstore option and generally a liquid blush option that's doesn't have a humongous packaging for the like uses that I use. Sorry, not liquid blush, liquid highlighter for which is only like for cheekbone highlighting. So I will be of course continuing testing this out, but so far first impression I'm very impressed, and this has been the kind of product that I've been like looking for as an alternative, because the flawless filter, while it is very nice and it gives a very nice effect, it is very expensive, and the big packaging that they do now have a mini version of it, but back then when it first launched there was only like the option to buy the big one, and for my uses that just expired too quickly with the amount of products I used. But so far very impressed with this one. As you can probably see, I already put the lip liner beforehand because last time applying the lip liner on camera was a bit of a mess. It's just something that I need to focus on more, so that's why I did it off camera, and also the lip liner I had isn't new. But what is new is this one. So this is the Slim Stick lipsticks that they came out, and this is a lip product that after managing to grab this from the last shades that were available, I haven't been able to spot this anywhere in our Essence retailers, and we do have quite a lot of Essence retailers, so these are apparently a hot commodity because I haven't seen them ever since. So this is in the shade Velvet Punch, so it's a bit more darker rosier shades, and I think this might be duping the NARS. NARS has this sort of a lipstick that is quite known for having this sort of very slim sort of bullet, and let's get to it, see how the formula is like. Okay, so this is a hit. This is very smooth, but for example, unlike the Makeup Revolution matte lipstick that I was recently, you saw it in my sort of a review video, March makeup review video, which I did say in the video that it did get decluttered after the video, because with that one I said that the issue was that the formula was like too creamy to the point that it sort of slipped on your lips. This is a very smooth and creamy formula, but this doesn't slip off from your lips, and it's still like it's very comfortable to wear, and the shade is like it matches the eye look, not necessarily the cheeks. Today, as I said, the cheek color is actually much more like orange leaning than what the tube would give out, but for the sort of like grungy eye look I'm having, this is like fitting it perfectly. Already I can say this is also probably going to be a hit, but we'll be trying this out more, but yeah. So I think that was the last of the products, so let's get to the sort of final conclusions of this first impressions video. So I think this was quite of a successful first impressions video. The only product that I really didn't like so far was this one, so this is the Queen Mascara, but I will be giving this sort of a second, like, more opportunity, because I do know that mascara usually needs a bit of a time to show its like full potential. Also, I think like what was a bit meh was this one, but this was purely because the shade doesn't actually match the tube. So if you are planning to buy this, the formula so far seems very nice, but maybe see if there's testers in store and check that the shade matches the sort of expectations you're having for it. But other than that, like, yeah, this one I will be very keen to keep trying out this one, because so far quite impressed with it. Also the lipstick very much liking the formula, and also the shade, even though it's a bit darker shade. And the Glamlite and Chucky palette was also, especially considering I tried the formula now first time, I am so far liking it quite a lot. But anyway, we will be getting back to these products in review videos later on. If you liked this video, then push the like button, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from my future videos. You can also find me with the same nickname, Makeup Hedgehog, on Instagram. I hope I will be seeing you in another video soon. Bye bye!